What's up, everybody? So this is part two of D1's reviews. That sounds funny. I went so far last video that I couldn't really finish doing the second album. So that's what this video is about. Let's get into that second album here and review it. I'm not gonna go too deep into what I said because you can watch the first video and see how what I talked about with me and the way I thought of D1, how I was introduced to him, and what I thought of his album Loaded. So let's now go to from hood to Harvard, from the hood to Harvard. Congratulations to D1 being able to be at Harvard and super great achievement. The dude's been making moves, been out there doing his thing, been grinding for a long time. So congratulations to him for getting so far out there. Let's talk about the album. Let's dive in. As you always know, if you don't know, I put a video on how I rate things, but I always do it two ways. I do it like musically, what I think that the artist, hey, as a person who is a lover of music, I'll just rate it from what it is music wise. But then as a Christian is where I come back and I stop and I really look at it biblically, look at it how the Bible would view it as a Christian should be actually moving, and I judge it off of that. So we're gonna do that with From the Hood to Harvard. So, excuse me. I will say just off bat, this album you can tell was the one he wanted to put out. That Loaded one, I think I said it on the other video. I think those were the B-sides, the ones he didn't really want to put out. And you can tell because the way you had to get the album. But this one you can tell. The production is amazing on each song. It looks like so much effort was put into this one. And the content of who was on it was lower. And so I just think that this is the one he wanted to put out. So that was the plus in my book. Lines Drawn, which he's actually making a video for it as we speak. I think it's already done. I mean, he's releasing it soon. Great song, awesome song. It just sounds so hypocritical when you look at what he had in Loaded. Like, the very people that you're talking about on Lines Drawn, you had some of those people featured on your album. Like, I just don't get it. You hang with these people. Like, I don't get it. I don't know. I don't know how you can do both at the same time. Because it just seems like serving two masters, and I could be wrong. I mean, he could be strong enough to where he can do that. It's just funny listening to Lines Drawn because I just be like, hey, when you were in the studio, did you let them hear Lines Drawn? like, did you let them hear Lines Drawn and say, hey, man, what did you think about it? Like, did you use that as a moment to outreach to them? Like, let them know that I'm talking about y'all without I'm talking about y'all. Anyway, but it was a great song. Great song. Loved it. Second one, Head in the Clouds. I like that he had the guy on it talking, who said you're inspiring me, because that you could tell that's like why he does it. I talked about in the last video his mindset of how he does things. And it shows throughout this whole album that I was like spot on in what I think of him. But Heads in the Clouds, I will say musically, I did not like it. Whoever Sky Brooks is, if that was the guy that was singing the chorus or if that was D1, it was bad. I did not like that chorus. And, I don't know. I just thought that it messed up the song. The beat was fire. Like, I love that beat. I think they just messed it up with the chorus. Like get somebody that can sing, bro. Like, I don't know. It just did not sound good. The chorus, and that kind of rubbed me the wrong way, but it was a solid song. I just wish he would have got somebody who could sing if he wanted to do a chorus. So then let's move on to This Came From Rapping. That I didn't like that. I felt like I was drawn back to the 2010s. It just seemed so outdated. It came from rapping. Like I don't know. It just seems like I was like in 2014, 13. Um, I didn't even like the beat too much. I would just say probably yeah. I didn't really like that song. So then let's move on to "Wasn't Me." Wasn't me. Wasn't me. Wasn't me. um, I like the song because he was thanking everybody who helped him on his path to get where he was. He was pretty much, it was a shout out song, and he was showing how like, hey, everything I got, I grind for it. I'm not taking away what I did, but I wouldn't have been here if it wasn't for all of the help. It wasn't for God. If it wasn't for the family, it wasn't for my friends, those who believed in me, who took a chance on me. So I would say it was a good one. Even the chorus by P3RK. I don't know who that is. Is it Perk? Just Perk with a three. Um, I'm not even gonna look him up because I don't want to be disappointed because he might be secular because it just seems like Dee-1's mo. But I'm not gonna look it up so I can stay in a good mindset and a clear mindset. But it was a good song. I would say wasn't me very solid song. So move on. One of the best songs, Dr. Fresh. I love that song. That was a great song. The beat was really nice. His rapping kind of made me feel like To Pimp a Butterfly type flow that Kendrick had. I hate to use secular reference to it, but it was the only way that when I listened to it, it really made like I was there looking to this conversation. He lyrically put me in his shoes of how he was viewing things, and I could see how he was viewing things. Um, Even like had the conversation at the end to show you, hey, this is the guy. I loved it. It was a very nice track. Talking about his struggles of like, you know, how I should look at this because he homeless, but he just seems like this, and it was a really awesome track. I could say it was one of my favorite tracks of his album was Dr. Fresh. So I will say that, and then manage your chip. Talking about chips on your shoulder, and some people can't handle that. You need God for that. But yeah, he talks about grinding, and if you remember in my other video, I talked about how Dee-1 is. I really think Dee-1 is one of those that it's economic struggle and cultural shift. It's his bread and butter. It's not spirituality. It's not Christianity in a sense. He will let you know unashamed that I am a Christian, but that is not his goal for you. His goal for you is to stop being low minded, get economically set, do better, and in the way Christ can help you do that. That's how I feel that he is, and throughout this track, that's basically what it was. Because it wasn't like cast your burdens on Jesus because he is the only one that can help you with your chip. It was like, no, learn how to manage it, learn how to use it for your good. None of it was give it to God. None of it was that. Because I think he truly believes that it has to be something you do. It's not cash your cares. It's not God that supplied this. It was your grind. So you need to grind. And like I said, that's just stuff we disagree with. So the make up this song, the beat was nice. Lyrics was on point. The way he was flowing, the cadence, I really loved it. Solid song. Just didn't care for the message. Imposter Syndrome, awesome song. I love this song because he was talking about how, you know, especially when you make it out and you make it to the level that he made it to, and then he, you know, you probably got haters who used to be your friends that come and they say these things, and he's trying to like, man, why they like that. I remember listening to somebody talk about he couldn't enjoy his success because he was just thinking about the people he left behind, like, should I be here? And so I love that song because it's an introspective song about that kind of stuff. So I really think that that song was a good one. Imposter Syndrome, really solid song. I love the beat in it. And then Overwhelmed. Now, Overwhelmed was weird to me because it was such a short song, like super short song. And I don't understand what he was kind of trying to go with it, because the first part he was rapping about something, and then the second part he made it about a girl, like a girl that he wanted to be with. And I was just like overwhelmed. I don't know, but I will say that I love he was putting his lyrics. He was lyricist. He was the lyricist D1 on that one. He put it down on that one. Beat was nice too. It just ended so soon to say it was the outro, because there's only 8 tracks on this album. Very light album. And he had one song that scraped close to 4 minutes, and it was my favorite song, Dr. Fresh. The rest of them are all new age short. That's what I call them, new age short, where rappers don't. What you mean three verses? They don't do that no more in 2024. So anyway, um, this is his album. So what do I rate it? What do I think about From the Hood to Harvard? Two ratings I always give it. So when it comes to production, when it comes to his lyrics, when it comes to even the features, when it comes to the overall arching message of the album, I would say the features were lacking. I will say Perk did his thing, but Sky Brooks, so that was the one low part of the album. Um, and like I said, I didn't like This Came From Rapping. Didn't really care for that song. The rest of them, all the beats, all the was really nice. Head in the Clouds chorus was not that good, but what do I rate it? So production wise, and everything. So, anyways, let me stop talking about that. Let me just say, what do I rate it? I rate this album as is if it's just music wise, I rate this album as a 7. Because the knocks I give against it is that the feature with the Head in the Clouds chorus, really didn't like it, and Came From Rapping really was not a good track in my opinion. And plus it was only 8 tracks. I wish it was 10. Like that to me is a complete album. This one felt more like an EP. Even with how short the songs were, it just felt like an EP. And man, maybe these new albums, this is how people are going to be doing it. But anyway, so because of that, I give it a 7. Now, spiritually is it's really a mixed bag, because I don't think any song was like spiritually led. It was more of him doing what D1 does, which is trying to pull people out of the mindset of the cultural significance of what people are going through, doing a cultural shift and an economic boost in his people's mindset. And that's what he does it. And how does he do it? By saying, you need to grind. You need to get on your grind. You need to get on your swivel, do what you need to do. And along the way, give your life to God. I just feel like it's God is a part of the package that is implied, but never outright saying the first thing you need to do is get saved. I just didn't get that from the album. So spiritual side was very much lacking. Very much lacking. God was mentioned a lot, but it wasn't the focal point at all. The focal point was economic development and mindset change and cultural shift. That's what I feel that this was what. And so spiritually, I rate this a 4. So it's kind of at the same level as his other one, Loaded. So actually, yeah, I think it fit the same way. This is the exact same score I gave it from Loaded. But I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. If I'm going to say my solid score altogether overall, I'm going to give it I'm going to give it a 7. I'm going to give it a 7. I'm going to say it's a 7 because no, 6. I'm going to give it a 6 because I can't say that it's a 4 spiritually and did give it a 7. I'm going to give it a 6 because I feel, for me, this is all me. I just think I I just don't agree with the way D1 goes about doing things. And it doesn't make sense to the world because this guy's a professor now at Harvard. This guy is respected by the industry now. This guy has a huge following, way more than I would ever dream of. So who cares what I think? And who cares if it's successful because his is successful? So I mean, that's why I said, like, at the grand scheme of things, who cares that? But I just say my opinion. I just don't like the way that he does it because to me, I think it's too much of gaining the world. Like, all of that is secular gain. All of that is secular gain. And you can say God gave it to you because God gives us a lot of secular stuff. He does. He gives us cars. He gives us money. He gives us all for the glory of Him. And I don't want to get too deep on it. I mean, if anybody want to hit me up about it, we could definitely chop it up about it. If I need to make a video about it, I can. But I'm just going to end it with this. I don't see eye to eye with him on the way that he moves, but I respect him because he's a brother in the faith. He believes in the same God that I do. He believes that Jesus died for his sins, and that's what keeps us brothers in the faith. I wish him well. I pray that he continues to just grind, continues to put a and do outreach, continue to bring people from poverty, continue to bless people with the art of Jesus, and continue to do your thing. I just wish nothing but the best for him. This has been OHM, and I'm finally done with D1. 2 albums down. I will say, will I jam this again? I unfortunately will tell you, I will not. I probably won't. There was no song in there. Oh, actually, I lie. Purify My Eyes. Purify My Eyes is a song that I definitely will probably jam. And Dr. Fresh was an amazing song. I really like the introspection in that and the way that he talks about the guy. But I don't know if I know I would go back and listen to it, but I don't have it in my favorites and probably won't add it to my favorites. But it's a song that if I want to, I'm gonna be like, hey man, you remember that song? And I'm gonna listen to it. That's how I feel about it. So anyway, this has been OHM. Y'all let me know if I'm tripping, because most likely y'all probably gonna think it, because that's I'm old. This is old head music. This is old head rationale. This is the elder type mentality stuff. Yeah, just saying. But anyway, it's OHM. Peace.